Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
It's Ariana.
I'm Riley.
We are so pumped to talk about all things culture with you. This episode is going to be so fun because it's after Christmas. We're talking about Christmas stuff.
It's Christmas edition. Culture Makers Christmas edition.
We want to know favorite Christmas traditions. Do you have any?
Yes, I love Christmas traditions. I'm all about them. One of my favorite things that we did growing up that I definitely want to duplicate when I have a family is every year we went to a real Christmas tree farm. We went to the same one, and the shop that we went to had hot apple cider. So you got the hot apple cider first, and then you walked around, picked out the Christmas tree, cut it down, and then you go back to the shop and buy the Christmas tree. And there's a cute little train that just threads through all of the things that you can buy.
I love that.
It's amazing and so magical. And then you bring it home and it smells like Christmas tree in your house, which is my favorite smell. And that was one of my favorite traditions we did as a family.
We were just talking about this, what smells, remind you of Christmas.
Yes.
And I love Christmas tree smell too.
Me too.
I think for me, cinnamon and clove and the spices make me think of Christmas.
I love the smell of just
yummy.
Pine needles.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So
what about
good.
you? What's Christmas tradition?
I think it's kind of cool. Right now I feel like I'm in the middle of figuring out new Christmas traditions. I had the ones I did when I was younger, and we're just thinking okay, what was our favorite things? What do we want to keep doing? But I think when I was younger, we always listened to the same Christmas music album. It was called Cool Yule. It's this random album that you can't find anymore, but my parents would always play it, and we would always spend that time together as a family, and we had real trees every year too, and we would hang up the ornaments, and something that's kind of funny is that when I decorate my tree now, if I have any glass ornaments, when I was growing up, those were the ones that only my parents would hang up, at the top of the tree. So I'm always oh, glass ornament, I shouldn't hang it up.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I'm a grown adult.
It's an alien in your brain.
Handle fragile materials. But yeah.
I'm an adult and I can't handle fragile materials. I'll learn it right now.
Yeah, they're kind of risky.
Love it. We would always wear Christmas PJs, and so every Christmas Eve we got to open up our Christmas PJs. It used to be a fun tradition of every Christmas Eve we got to open up one present, but then that kind of morphed into it's always Christmas PJs that we're opening up. So it ruins the surprise a little bit, but it's fun to have matching Christmas PJs with your family.
I love that. That's a good one.
What was the best gift you've ever received? Do you have one? Best gift you
I
received?
think the best gift, when I was little and I came out and there was a bright pink bike waiting for me. That was pretty epic.
That is pretty epic.
The excitement level
Did it have a big
that
bow on
I
it?
reached. Yes.
Of course it did.
I was just so lit about this bike.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think every gift I've gotten after that has never lived up to the bike.
Yes,
when
not
I
to
was
the energy
little.
and the enthusiasm. I don't know that I have one best gift that I've ever received, at least not off the top of my head. I've received a lot of great gifts, but not one that's man, this is the best gift.
Yeah.
But I will say, kind of a fun fact about me, so every year when I was a kid, we'd write Christmas letters to Santa. And so every year I would write in my letter to Santa, something along the lines of please Santa, give me a locket with your face in it so I know you're real and I won't show anybody. It'll be our secret. And every year I asked him for it and he never got it for me.
Well, you just wanted to be friends, you know?
I really did. I wanted us to have this secret together and it didn't happen. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Sorry. Moving on for a little bit of Christmas.
Okay.
Let's talk about Spider-Man.
I am so pumped to see the new Spider-Man. I will tell you that I have not seen it yet. But she's really disappointed.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
It's just, one of those things. I'm I'm going to see it. I haven't gone to do it yet because I procrastinate sometimes. So but I'm going to work it out. I'm going to go see it.
Yes.
And I've heard nothing but amazing things about Spider-Man movie. What
I do when I'm excited, and I'm excited about Spider-Man. I've already seen it twice in theaters. So in the time that you've seen it 0 times, I've seen it enough for both of us. I never watched a single Marvel movie until last year. I think I watched all of them through the Marvel Cinematic Universe and became a Marvel fan. But the only superhero movie I'd watched before I'd ever watched Marvel was the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm just saying Spider-Man was actually like a pretty big gap in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of like they had Tobey Maguire and then they had Andrew Garfield and then they have Tom Holland, but it's like obviously you never like address the fact that there's 3 different versions of Spider-Man. This specific movie just bridged that gap. Like it really just like filled that gap and made it all make sense. And it was in the theaters, like people were cheering and like crying and laughing out loud, like verbally in the theater. And it made it way better. It made it way better.
That's how movies should be. It's like they're works of art. If they're good and they're resonating with people, like, yes, people should be crying, laughing.
I genuinely would argue that that might be the best Marvel movie. Either that or Infinity War.
Bold.
I'm getting faces from our producer. But
do you think that like before I go see it, I should like do some prep work? Like, what's your opinion on that?
So that's a good question. You don't have to know all of the things. Like, you don't have to do research. You could just show up and it would still be fun. It just makes it better. I mean, I want to go watch all of the movies because I've only seen the original Tobey Maguire, like the very first one. Yeah. But I do want to go back and watch all of them now because you'll just get more. There's like a lot of Easter eggs in that movie, and so you'll get a lot more of it.
Okay,
but
great.
At least just know what the characters look like is what I'll say. Just know.
Okay. We have another movie to talk about.
I feel less passionate about this one.
Okay. Well, Willy Wonka.
Yes.
So, you know there was like the original Willy Wonka.
The OG Willy Wonka.
Yes. There's the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Depp.
And now there's going to be a new Willy Wonka. Timothy Chalamet is playing Willy Wonka. Are you like a fan? Or
I don't know
like,
much about him. Isn't he from Stranger Things? Is that it?
He was just familiar. In Dune. So,
I haven't seen Dune.
Okay, I really liked Dune. Another movie that has like a big fan base. I just walked straight into the theater. I just didn't know what was going on for a little bit, but it was great. Timothy Chalamet, I feel like he also has been known for like fashion, like Gen Z really loves him.
Okay, love that for you guys. I'm not familiar. I know the name, but I honestly couldn't even tell you what his face looks like. But I loved the Johnny Depp original, or not the original, the Johnny Depp version. I love Johnny Depp. Okay. I think everything he does is great. I don't see myself enjoying the new one just because it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to really redo that so many times and it's just going to become bad.
That's kind of true. I really like the original one. You could do it. I think the story of Willy Wonka is really cool. It's like one of those really unique, kind of weird.
It is.
It's kind of creepy even.
I love movies like that.
I do too.
Yeah, so it's like my dark horse movie.
I'm like into it. I'm excited to see another take on Willy Wonka. I think picking him to be Willy Wonka, Timothy Chalamet, is like a really strategic, like a lot of people are going to go see it, I feel like, because it's him. So I'm curious to see how he does.
Now, moving on. Do you have plans for New Year's Eve? And do you believe in setting New Year's resolutions?
I really like New Year's resolutions. This year, as we've mentioned on Culture Makers, I'm going to become a mom. So New Year's, super pumped about that. But as with any transition in life, it's like, how do I plan my life? Like, I feel like it's kind of the same feeling as like when you're going to graduate high school or like when you get your first job or something. It's just a lot of unknown. So setting a New Year's resolution when something like that is happening in your life is a little bit more challenging than years past, but it's also really exciting, and I still plan to do it because I feel like those are almost the most important New Year's resolutions. Yeah. You just know God's going to do something brand new and big in your life. So it's really, really exciting. But what are your thoughts on them?
I love New Year's resolutions. If this is your opinion, I respect you and I respect it, but I will push back on the opinion of New Year's resolutions don't matter because nobody ever like commits to them, or like it only lasts for a month and whatever. I see how logically you've come to that conclusion, but in my head, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have an opportunity to kind of restart or start fresh or just set these goals or whatever, why wouldn't you? You know, like even if I set resolutions and they only last until the end of January, well, that's a whole extra month that I did some things that I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. Like I set some goals for myself. And so last year I set a goal that I would drink more water because I never drank water. And that was that was the longest my New Year's resolution ever lasted. I like went all the way through July. You could argue that I've done it all year. I still drank more water than I definitely did last year. But my goal was to do 1 water bottle a day. I'm not doing that anymore. But
wait,
that could be my resolution for this next year.
You should do that though. Just one?
You should for sure do that. I just don't.
But you're not drinking at like 1?
Mm-mm. I'm 1 water bottle a day. Yeah, I used to like not be able to drink water at all, and like I couldn't even remember like the last time I had a glass of water.
Maybe you should bring that one back around.
Yeah, that one might be a new goal for me. But yeah, do you have plans for New Year's Eve? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to a friend's house, and we have like one of, I always mess up this word, a charcuterie board. Yeah, charcuterie board. And we watch a movie and we just kind of like chill.
That sounds lovely.
What are you doing?
I'll be driving back from Colorado, so
road trips are fun.
Yes, I mean I'll be driving back that day, so I'll definitely be home before like New Year's Eve night. But I imagine I will probably just be sleeping
super sleepy
in my bed.
Yeah.
So I always go to Colorado for Christmas, and because that's where all my extended family lives.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, last year when I was there for New Year's Eve, my mom and my stepdad and my grandparents actually stayed up through New Year's Eve, like through the midnight, and me and my siblings crashed. And so at midnight, which is like so funny because they're like so much older than us, at midnight my parents and my grandparents crashed in through our door and was just like, it's New Year's, and like popped like confetti and whatever. Fun. And me and my sisters were so grouchy. We were like, nobody cares.
I think I've always stayed up. Like I really like New Year's Eve. It's so fun.
I haven't always stayed up, but I like to watch the ball drop, but I also that night I just decided it wasn't worth it. So
yeah, I mean it'll be the new year the next day too.
Yeah.
So
we have some student questions. It's the best part of the show. Leave some questions down below. Okay, am I Jane's Meehan?
Come on!
Wow!
I feel like we need to play that every time.
Oh my god! Riley, love your name, asked this question. She wants to know our thoughts on having your own vibe or finding your own identity.
That is such a good question. For me in particular, I love this question because when I first started following Jesus, I had this like preconceived notion in my head that I had to be like everyone else. I had to be like a cookie cutter version of myself, be perfect. And really that is a total lie. Like we all have the things that make us unique. Yeah. We have our own vibes, if you will. Yeah. And that's how God made us. And so we should be true to that. And that's a way to honestly like give glory to him, as me being exactly who he's created me to be.
I have nothing to add. That was a great answer. I feel that way. Girl, you have your own vibes. Yeah. You be the person God created you to be, and you strut that stuff.
Strut that stuff.
You work your vibe. Come on.
Come on, somebody.
Question number 2, and our final question of this Culture Makers is, Pinky wants to know how to hear God's voice.
So good.
That is a great question.
That's honestly the question of my life. I feel like there's a lot of different ways I've heard God's voice. It's never really been like an audible, like God is speaking to me and I can hear it with my ears, but I know that happens and that's real. But for me, it's usually like it comes more in like a thought enters my mind and I'm like, man, that was like definitely the Holy Spirit, or I feel like that was super wise, or it's like some guidance that I've really been praying about or seeking God about. And so that's like the main way I feel like I hear God's voice, but I feel like it's a little bit different for everybody.
Yes, yeah. I also never like audibly heard God's voice, although I'm looking forward to the day that I do. If I ever do, God, come on. I would love that. Would just be so awesome. I would really love that.
That would be so cool.
But like you said, there are moments where I've been like sure that God is speaking or he's saying something specific to me. And that's really just been, well, it just kind of depends on the circumstance. But usually for me, I just feel like a just like complete peace about something. Like it's like just kind of like you can't really even explain it. It's just like I feel sure that this is God.
Yeah.
And to me, that's how I identify God's voice, is that peace that I feel. And it doesn't follow with like questions of like, God, is this you? It's just like, no, I know that this is something I'm supposed to do. But I think it's different for everybody, and it's different for you. It's different for you. Like it's different for me. And so we can't really like put a box on like, this is what will happen to you whenever you experience God's voice or his presence. But a really great message that you should check out, shameless plug, is Ever Wonder Why by Life.Church Pastor Craig. He just did a message called Why Does God Feel Far Away? And it talks all about God's presence. And talks all about so like good. If you don't feel God's presence, like some reasons why maybe you don't feel God's presence. And so it's really great to explore if you're more curious about that, or maybe you feel like you haven't experienced God's presence. And you want to, that's a great message to check out for sure.
Love it. So good. We had some good stuff to talk about today.
Yes. I love this time that we spent together. I hope you're having a great holiday break. Yes. I hope you are pumped for the new year and excited for 2022, because I know I am. Culture Makers is going to be so great in 2022 and just this year. I'm hopeful.
We'll see you then.
Yes, we will see you next year.